Welcome to part number 2 of the drama, the adventure, the trip all the way from Limpopo to Cape Town. We're looking at about 1,800 kilometers of driving. Thanks to Cielo for giving me the idea to work on part number 2. I realized there was quite some details that I missed out and a bit of footage. But more than anything, I would like to break down how it so happened that this breakdown cost me so much money. The most expensive breakdown I've had. I'm still not happy about how much it cost me, but here goes nothing. So, this was the previous day, just before the breakdown happened, and we're still driving here from Kimberley towards Belfort West, right in the desert, very plain. I think someone said, I think it was Tibbs who said something like, yeah, that drive is so depressing. You'd rather avoid it and use a different route. But yeah, as you can see, there's nothing. And it's like this for maybe upwards of 400 Ks, just more than 350 Ks, where it's just this plain, dry, arid, semi desert area where you're driving. And I'm sure it does get hot, but yeah, there isn't much rest stops. It's a fairly frustrating part of the journey. But for us, that was the last stretch because the plan was to get to the Shell garage at Three Sisters. Once we get to the Shell garage, we're thinking of filling up or just topping up the fuel we had. And after that, we're going to rest. But let me tell you something. The moment we got here, boy, were we so exhausted. After you've been driving just over 1,000 kilometers, and then you left with about 70, 75 kilometers to get to your actual destination. In this case, it was Belfort West. Mentally, you're just done. You're like, you know what? I've had enough of this journey. I don't want to be driving anymore. I'm done. That's exactly where I was mentally. So we actually chilled there for a while, just relaxing, thinking, no, we're there. But the actual reality was we're still far from Cape Town. Cape Town is far. I mean, we're really far. We're talking of more than 500 Ks. It's quite a drive. So we're thinking, okay, let's just call it a drive for now. We're going to rest in Belfort West. We had planned to do so. And then the very next morning, we'll continue our journey. We're like, this is finally the last leg of the journey. We're going to go to Cape Town. And then finally we can rest. Boy, were we so wrong. When you even start planning, no, I'm gonna be in Cape Town. I'm gonna be in Cape Town by 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be in Cape Town before 10:30. So yeah, don't worry, on our way. We left nice and early in the morning. Hey. Then we noticed very funny behavior on the car. Where when it was cruising, and then there's like a steep, the car is trying to maintain the same speed, but it was struggling. Then it would over rev. You'd literally see the rev count go up. So in the end, I'm like, no, let me take my phone and try to see what's actually happening as I try to manually do it. So just in case I have to explain this to a mechanic, right? I take my phone, I focus on the speedometer to just see what's going on. And then I put that aside, right? And then drive a bit. And I'm seeing this is now persisting. But the more I press on my accelerator, the car is not picking up speed. Try change it down to a lower gear, give it more speed, the car is not picking up speed. After some time, the car actually shakes. The entire car like violently shakes, but then the speed had decreased. It's just below 80 kilometers per hour. But then you could literally feel the entire car shake for maybe like 3 or 5 seconds, I don't know, give or take. And then after that, it starts going downhill from there. It starts losing speed. And then as we could see that there is a rest stop right in front of us, the car comes to a complete halt, literally inches away from the actual rest stop. Comes to a halt, you try to move it, it just won't move. You put it in gear 1, nothing was happening, but it was starting fine. So to some extent, we're a little bit lucky in that this happened right at the mouth of the rest stop. But of course, we couldn't leave the car park there for that long because it's literally next to the highway. And you know, this is now December time, people are driving up and down. The N1 is busy. We were so lucky. Eventually, a truck driver came by. I think he had Mahindras in his truck by the rest stop. He's like, "No, I can help you guys push this car. Let's push it." So we eventually pushed it from where it was parked into this rest stop. So after that happened, the plan was okay. Let's start calling mechanics. Let's get people to come help us sort out the issue that we have, right? So we're like, okay, if it's a small issue, a mechanic would come check it out. We might get it fixed, and then we're on our way to Cape Town. Okay. Mind you, this is the 15th of December. It's a Friday. We've been given a free public holiday, so everyone really is on leave. No one is really working then. You know, when you call a mechanic and you explain to them, yeah, I'm somewhere 30 kilometers from Taos River, between Taos River and Langsberg. And the guy's like, hey, bruh, I'm in Cape Town. I'm far. And where you are far. Please try someone else. Now, Langsberg is a very small town. So is Taos River. So when you check online, you can't really find much because these are extremely, extremely, extremely small towns. So the mechanics that would lead you closest to around that area would be like Cape Town. So I was struggling to get any mechanic except one, which I'm going to revisit at a bit of a later stage. Nonetheless, I'm like, okay, let me hear how much the tour guys are going to charge us, at least to get to Worcester, because Worcester is a slightly bigger town than what we have in between. First guy I contact, he's like, it's going to cost you 4.5 from where you are. I'm like, sure. And that's like halfway to Cape Town. So I wonder how much it's going to cost me if I want to tow this car to Cape Town. So eventually I'm like, you know what, let me hear what the mechanic says. No. So I come across one guy who's got a 1-star review on his page. 1 star. I had no option. I'm stuck in a desert. I really need someone to check this out. I'm like, you know what, let me call up this guy. And when I call him, he's like, no, bro, you'd have to pay me upfront before I come to you, and then you settle the balance when I get there. Now I'm getting, I'm a bit desperate. I want this sorted. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine, come through, right? Eventually, the guy comes through. When he gets there, he comes with nothing, no toolbox. There was nothing on him, just him and his kid, right? So he's like, okay, let me check. He goes under the car. He's like, okay, let's start the car. I had explained the issue to him. And they're like, okay, cool. Let's try put the car in gear and see what the car does. So we put the car in gear 1, right? It's like, let's try to push it down. We push it down, the car moves. Then it's like, wow, you see, there's your problem, your clash. Like, come to my car, let's try the same thing. We get to his car, he puts his car in gear 1. We try to push it down, the car doesn't move. So it's like, you see, the car doesn't move, his car, but our car moves. So he says, your clash, here's a problem, we need to replace it. The moment he said that, alarm bells rang in my head, because I had an issue, and I still have an issue with one of the cars that had a clash issue. Now, if the mechanic does not have enough equipment, they would have to access the clutch plate from the top down, right? But if they have enough equipment, they would suspend the car, then access the clutch from the bottom. So the moment he said that, I was like, okay, goodness, I'm not having anyone touch the clutch on this car if they don't have enough equipment. Let me take the risk and rather tow this car to Cape Town. If I tow this car to Cape Town, I'll take it to Toyota. I mean, I'm very far from home. I'm not going to take any chances. I'll take it to Toyota, have those guys look at the car, and then if I come right, then I should be fine. Rather than taking a shortcut, get a cheaper guy, and then might be in the same situation with the other car. So eventually, start calling the guys who could tow. I'm like, guys, I spoke to the other guy. I'm like, man, now I want to tow to Cape Town. How much are you then going to charge me? The guy's like, okay, 6.5. I'm like, okay, if you're charging me 4.5 to Worcester and charging me 6.5, I tried to negotiate with this guy, he won't budge. I'm like, I'll try. Eventually, we settled it like 5.5. Like, okay, cool, let's do 5.5. The guy comes through, he's like, I know we're going to do this. We sort out the car. We get it on the flatbed. We tow it to where we're going to. So it was over the weekend, the car was basically parked. And the next Monday, business is open. Take the car, we tow it again to Toyota now. Get to Toyota, they check out what's the issue. Comes out, well, guys, exactly, it is a clutch problem. So would have to replace your clutch. Problem, they don't have any parts, so they would have to order the parts. Eventually, they ordered all the parts that we needed. and then they fitted them. Labor plus all the parts that they got, everything came to a whooping about 12,800. So eventually, this is how much everything cost me. I'm still not happy about this amount, but that's exactly what happened. Thank you for watching. I'm going to end this here and go cry my tears elsewhere.